Alright guys, it looks like the DC is headed for a disaster. I really don't like this at all. So, bias, straight away, I hold my hands up and say this is me being quite negative. The Batman movie for the DC universe, Batman the Brave and the Bold, is being written by Christina Hodson. Who is Christina Hodson, you ask? Well, she wrote Birds of Prey. Yeah. And The Flash. Not a good pick. I don't think this is a good pick at all. I think this is terrible. I think that this is relatively a bad choice. Now, I think it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because when you hire a writer and it's for a specific universe, which, she'd worked in, right? Birds of Prey and The Flash, etc. Got to look at it from a perspective. This is me trying to play devil's advocate. To show you I have considered this, and I'm open to being wrong, is that when she was working in the old DC, was she working from a prerequisite point, like a mandate? Was she told, no, it must be like this? And therefore she made those movies like that. Within those boundaries that she was set from high. Now, we don't know whether that's the case. Okay, it may be that is the case and she'll write this movie and it will wow us. It'll be a fantastic film. Okay? That is a possibility. To not even explore that as a potential is just disingenuous. She could write this film and it could be brilliant. It could also be garbage, though, right? She has done some good things, which we'll get to in a minute. So it's not, on face value, I don't like the news. I think it's bad. I am open to being wrong because of the things I've mentioned, i.e. previous mandate from executives, and she has done at least one good thing in the past that I can tell, or that I can see. So let's take a look. Let's have a look at this. This news had originally broke from the Jeff Snyder, and now the Hollywood Reporter are reporting it as well. So it says this: Christina Hodson, known for her work in the big IP and action spaces. Funny how she didn't mention anything. The Hollywood Reporter hasn't mentioned what she's previously worked on there. Is working on a Batman movie for DC Studios, the Hollywood Reporter has confirmed. Hodson is writing The Brave and the Bold, the feature project that is centered on Batman and Robin. Robin, in this version, is Damian Wayne, the murderous tween raised by assassins who also happens to be the son Batman never knew he had. It is unclear how far along The Brave and the Bold is in the writing process. DC Studios had no comment on Hodson's involvement. One source said the scribe had been working on the project since at least the fall, so barely any time, but okay. This movie's been announced for God knows how long now. Another source said that it would be some time before a definitive draft comes in, as the studio is taking a measured approach to its development. Measured being what? Like just not actually doing anything. Because this is like one of the slowest films ever to be worked on. DC Studios has really kind of gone off the rails already, to be honest, but whatever. So, DC has faced conflicting currents in the development of its Batman movie. James Gunn and Peter Safran, who head DC, announced a Brave and the Bold project from the outset of their launching the superhero division in 2023. This isn't that difficult to get right. I think it was recently James Gunn that came out and was like, oh yeah, the Batman's a bit boring or something like that. I'm pretty certain he did say Batman's gotten boring, which is mental to me. So Andy Muschietti, who directed The Flash for Warner Brothers, ridiculous. That movie was garbage. And the previous DC film division was on board to develop and direct the project, was on board. But finding a writer and a take on the material proved, for the longest time, elusive. Muschietti remains on board, but his ultimate involvement depends on several factors, including timing and availability. So he's not 100% on board then, is he? He's attached by name, but he's not 100% on board at this point in time, which is mad when you think about it. The filmmaker now finds himself a hot commodity thanks to the muscular success of Welcome to Derry, HBO's It series. A second season is now in the works, even if it has not been officially renewed. So you're just announcing that as well, okay. Then there is the Batman movie now in pre-production from filmmaker Matt Reeves and actor Robert Pattinson. DC is said to be giving Reeves' project ample space to breathe and is in no rush to put forth another Batman feature into the marketplace. It wants to make sure that Brave and the Bold is distinct enough in tone and look to stand apart regardless of when it gets made. I mean, just make it a comic book and it'll... Yeah, just make it like an homage to the comics and then it'll be distinct from the Batman Part 2. Hodson has gained respect from peers and executives for her strong scripts. Yeah, but no one reading this thinks this is good news. But alright. She's worked in the Gotham City corner of DC before, having penned a script for a Batman Beyond feature that earned praise inside the studio, but was never made. So that's not a great thing to report either. And then right at the bottom, you see it right there. She has several of the DC credentials, having worked with Muschietti on The Flash. She also penned Margot Robbie-led Birds of Prey, and she worked on the Transformers movie Bumblebee. And that's the movie that I think is the movie that everyone would say was good, right? She worked on Bumblebee. But man alive, she's not done a lot of good stuff, has she? She's a Batgirl. Which Batgirl? What? This isn't the cancelled one, is it? Because that got terrible. Oh, it is. That was terrible. I knew someone that watched this. And it was so funny because when it came out, there was a test screening. Everyone was like, the test screening was amazing. Blah, blah, blah. And then I had my source email me. And they were like, not quite sure what everyone's talking about because that was terrible. And yeah, it's like proper garbage. And then lo and behold, a few days later, it got cancelled. So, okay. Well, she's worked on garbage stuff then. So, I don't know, man. I don't think this is great news. But again, like I said, it could just be that it was from a mandate. So maybe this is going to, you know, maybe something good is going to happen from this. I don't think so. But I'm open to being wrong. Leave your thoughts down below.